lead the Android team at Book My Show. So if you guys have any complaints about the Book My Show, please do not let me know. But if you guys have any questions about Android, or maybe I don't know, maybe how do you get a job or something, like, you can ask me that.
I'm Gaurav. I'm sure you all already know me if you're not sleeping again. I work at Book My Show as well, and Avik is my manager, but don't ask me for free tickets. So, yeah.
Cool. So I'm Rajesh. I'm also an Android developer. Today, for a few moments, I thought to become iOS developer, but as you know, I reverted the decision. And I have around 7 years of experience. Ask me anything if you wish, like jobs or communities and whatever the things in between.
Hi guys, my name is Bilal Khan. I came from Bangalore for this, and I work at American Express, and I cannot get you a free card, so don't ask me that.
Okay. Hi guys, I am Saqib Mohammed. I am working in Imagination as a software development engineer, and I am not working in any fancy companies, so don't expect anything from me. You cannot even ask me anything. So, my expertise is in Android as well as in Flutter. So you can ask any question related to Android or Flutter.
Hi guys, I'm Santosh. I'm not working anywhere since Provo is shut down. I have started my own startup in September. It's called Grahi. It's in astrospace. So you can ask me related your future, but not to me on a Grahi. Okay.
Then I'll be the one sort of passing the mic around and passing comments on the answers. So, okay, raise of hands, and I'll try to, in my head, I'll try to go like back to front. I'll just make things easy. So, raise of hands, what is the first question? Anyone? अरे बैठे हैं उसके हाथ क्यों उठा रहे हो?
सब लोग अभी तक सो रहे हैं.
चलो यार, मुहूर्त शगुन वाला एक क्वेश्चन पूछ लो.
अच्छा.
I would like to know your GD journey, how you became GD.
So you guys might know I have a YouTube channel. So that time that was very popular. So Google folks contacted me. I did not apply. It was a nice experience.
After that, it's like an interview process.
Yeah, that time the manager was, I think, Siddharth Agarwal from the Google development team. Now he don't work in Google. So he approached me, and you have to give 3 rounds of interview. That is technical, not very much intensive because it's free job. You don't get paid. So yeah, but they check your expertise and the community activity. So you have to be active.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's worth it. I have traveled most of the Asia. So yeah, worth it. If you want to spend your weekends for these events, so it's worth it.
Next question.
किसी को कुछ नहीं पूछना है.
Okay, so like for the web, you have page speed insights, right? You have an open source platform that Google provides to measure the performance of a website. Do you have the same for Android applications that you don't own? So obviously I don't own an application. How do I measure that and tell that business ki hey, your application is crap? How do I improve it?
You can use Profiler to measure the rendering of each screen.
That's open source, Profiler?
It's a tool in Android Studio.
But, okay.
Yeah, so I think recently what I have read, I'm not really sure, but Play Store is introducing some kind of badge. Like they are going to give you a badge or some kind of rating based on how modern and how performant your app is. So mostly, like, I'm not sure how or like what exactly the parameters is. I just read about it recently. So I can share the article with you. So maybe they have plans to maybe give you this score or whatever thing that you're talking about.
That's proprietary to Google Play Store. Right?
Yeah.
Can't you just pull up that link and put it somewhere and then get a comprehensive report like page speed insights, right? It gives you exactly what is the bottleneck and where.
So your app, so whenever you publish an app, so you do have Firebase. I mean, most probably you will have Firebase, right? So there is a thing called performance
It's not my
profilers.
app.
Any app, any Android app basically has this performance tab. So Firebase does measure a few things on its own. So a few API timings and stuff is already there by default. However, if you want very specific metrics, you can set those up. It will start appearing on the profiler. You can compute for page rendering. Maybe you can distribute it via, maybe how much time you're just taking to render, how much time does API call takes to come, how much is your total rendering time. So it's all on the performance page in
I think
Firebase.
for performance you have to add a special dependency. No?
Yeah. So there is a thing that you have to do.
But I need to own that app, right, to put that SDK.
So you want like a
It's
general
like your
public.
app. Say for instance BMS, right? I want to profile your app and tell you. I don't have access.
You can't do that. I mean, why will I give you access?
Yeah, but for the web you have that, right? Like page speed insights. I can go to any
Okay.
website and
Yeah,
profile
that's
it
because
and
you're
tell
able to
them-
scrap those data.
Yeah, so that's what I want to understand. I'm from the web background. I'm not Android.
Yeah, but you are able to scrap data from web, but you can't. If you do that from app, then
So
you're
Android,
like,
you can't profile anybody. This is
no, you can't do that. You have a few tools you can use. I mean, you can use
Yeah, I think something close is having that app level badge or something like that. Maybe they turn it into a public database where they're going to tell you कि we've surveyed based on Play Store ये हमारे ratings है. Maybe you won't be able to pick the APK and profile it yourself, but refer to it कि हमारे indexing में क्या rank करता है and all of that.
Thank you.
I think you don't need that क्योंकि app और web page are two very distinct things. So वो जो
It's the same
page
thing, right? You get the user experience from a website.
it's okay, but
as well as
it's
the app. So
that speed is mostly used for SEOs, and that is not valid for app. My opinion, like.
it does hold true even in a mobile app, right? Because if a screen takes time to load or if your UX is not right, obviously people are going to drop. So how do I do that for mobile?
As a developer, you can do it, but why do
SEO
you want
is
to
the
do that
concept.
for someone else's application? That's the point.
Because I want to pitch for
Yeah.
that business. Say there's X business, their app is well crap. I want to go and say that hey, these are the
Yeah, but
because that's what we do for
developer-
page speed insights. We take the report and go to them and tell them that this is the issues and we
So
can-
there are
and then you
companies
have-
that does that. So there are a lot of companies, but you have to integrate an SDK inside.
Yeah, that's, you don't have the luxury.
Yeah, but that you can't do definitely because that's my data. I'm not even going to give you that.
Yeah, developers won't give access to their app to do this. But yeah, most of the folks do this. We all measure how much time screen is taking.
Right.
This URL, how much time it takes to send the response. So latency we measure anyways.
Thank you.
Next one.
Actually, as a Flutter developer, I have one question for him. Like, what if you want to use some native feature, and what will you prefer actually? Like, you want you prefer dependency, or you want to build natively the code itself on both the platform of Android and iOS? And also another question, like, which state management do you prefer as a Flutter developer?
Okay, so most
just one second. By native, do you mean like what?
Like manually build whatever you
What feature? Like a camera feature?
Yeah.
So anything that's native, how do you do that?
So native के अंदर basically क्या है कि if you are going to integrate the native side, Flutter provide the method channel for that. So you already have the method channels, and you can do that. You can implement the method channels over there. So suppose if you want to build a camera feature, which is a streaming of data, so you should use the stream channel over there. And suppose you are going to just give on call, you are initializing any SDK. And that SDK is built in Kotlin, which is an Android library. So you have to create one channel for it, and you just have to pass the data to the native side. And native side is going to handle everything for you. And in return, once it's mostly happen in payment SDKs. So few of the payment SDKs are in Kotlin, and you want to integrate it with Flutter. So you have to integrate that specific SDK on the Flutter side, or not on the Flutter side, but on the Android side. Once you integrate on Android side, you have to raise one intent for the SDK and pass data from the channel. And once the payments got completed, it will give you data back. And as per the data, you have to perform your operations. Like if success, then show the success screen. If fail, then show the fail screen. And this is same for like iOS too. But what happens is, as he mentioned, that most the payment or payment kind of thing are to be done by the web views. So no one want to handle these kind of things, the platform dependent things. So they handle all this kind of data on the web view side. So you can prefer, if you have strict requirements, you can go with the Flutter channels, and if you can, then you can go with the web view and or any other kind, like you can integrate REST APIs over there. And if you want to, then you have that specific method channel and streams. So you can use those two things. As far as the like state management, so state management completely depends upon your requirement. Like we have river pod, we have block, we have providers. So there are multiple state management available for the Flutter. It's completely depends upon your requirements. So if you're choosing block, then it's going to be very time consuming. Like in block, you have to maintain 3 state events and block architecture. So ये क्या हो जाता है कि इसके अंदर बहुत मुश्किल हो जाती है चीज़ें मैनेज करने के लिए. तो अगर आपके पास टाइम है और आप स्केलेबिलिटी को माइंड में रख रहे हो, आपको लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए ऐप चाहिए, आपका प्रोडक्ट बेस है, तो आपको ही खुद ही को उसको सपोर्ट करना है. सो ऐसे केस में आप ब्लॉक के साथ जा सकते हैं. अगर आपके पास डेडलाइन जो है वो बहुत शॉर्ट है, फटाफट करके देना है, 2 महीने में कंप्लीट करना है, तो आप ब्लॉक को चूज़ करोगे तो फंस जाओगे. तो ये आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट पे डिपेंड करेगा. स्टेट मैनेजमेंट कोई अच्छा कोई ख़राब नहीं है, वो अपनी रिक्वायरमेंट जिस तरह उस तरह से पिक करना है और उसके साथ आगे जाना है. Thanks.
Yeah, and just to add, because I wrote the Flutter SDK for CleverTap when it had just become stable. So for native stuff, right? Like if you want to use camera, if you want to use some Bluetooth library, use the dependency which is there provided by Flutter, because बहुत मेहनत किया Google वालों ने to get all the native features on Flutter. So use that. Unless you have something specific which needs an Android call and an iOS call, then whatever he suggested, the native channels work. Any other questions? Yep. One.
Yeah, so my question is for any one of you can answer. So when we have more experience, like more than 9 years or 10 years, so what should be our next steps, like, because we are our experience is increasing, and now we have to like survive in the company for long term, and so for thinking about our future, so many friends tell us that go to the managerial position, or you can learn something new things like iOS apps or Flutter or hybrid, something like that. So what are your thoughts about these things?
Should I start? Okay. So I don't have that much year of experience. So what is my opinion here? कि अगर आपके पास 9 साल का 10 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है, सो कंपनी आपको एज अ डेवलपर तो नहीं देख रही है. उसको चाहिए एक टीएल, उसको चाहिए एक मैनेजर जो उसके लिए काम करे. सो आपको यहाँ पे सिर्फ एंड्रॉयड पे ही डिपेंडेंट नहीं रहना पड़ेगा. थोड़ा सा उसमें मैनेजमेंट और मोबाइल टेक्नोलॉजी से आप कंसिडर कर सकते हैं, जिसमें फ्लटर आ गया और एंड्रॉयड भी आ गया, और उसके बाद मैनेजमेंट के साथ भी. तो थोड़ा सा आपको टीएल या मैनेजर लेवल पे 9 साल की एक्सपीरियंस सिर्फ डेवलपर रहेगा, तो वो थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेट करता है चीज़ों को, कि एक्सपीरियंस तो 9 साल या 9 साल के बाद सिर्फ डेवलपर. क्योंकि एक सर्टन 4-5 ईयर्स के बाद कंपनी एज ए टीएल आपको देखती है, वो एज ए डेवलपर तो नहीं देखती है. दिस इज माई ओपिनियन. मे बी एवरीवन हैज देयर ओन, बिकॉज आई डोंट हैव दैट मच एक्सपीरियंस एज यू आर सेइंग बाय 9 years. So what do you?
So I think it's been 10 years me writing apps, but it's okay. Like now we are at senior position, we handle teams, we decide the architectural decisions, so it's going well. But I never thought about surviving in the industry, so that's very bold word. So
because right now like layoffs are common, so it is due to they are cost cutting and they are doing multiple things are there. So it's very we need to be in that company, and they will also need to think about us. Like there are a lot of people out there.
I would, the first thing that you need to do is talk to your manager about what do they want from you, right? They want you to lead the team, and by leading doesn't mean to become a manager. Right? There are architects, there are staff engineers, there are principal engineers, and they are coding on a regular basis, but they are also coaching and mentoring the team, right? So you need to ask your manager, what do you want, what do you see me as, right? Do you want me to be just the silent guy who codes, or do you want me to lead the team? And by lead also, what do you want me to do, right? And then you'll have to adapt to that. Learning technologies, I think you should ideally keep exploring stuff. Like primarily I was an Android developer. Then I learned web. Then I learned Python. Now with AI, it's very easy to learn anything. You don't, if you become language agnostic, that's the best thing. And that increases your survivability if you want to like take it that way, right? And that's going to increase the longevity of your career as well. So anyone wants to add to that?
Yeah, correct. Always be language agnostic. No need to be a fanboy of anyone. So it's same opinion.
I'll add to this. Basically, you have to upskill yourself in this AI era. Layoff will be common, but as he suggested, you should talk with manager. But at the same time, you have to upskill yourself. I was a primary Android engineer, but now I'm doing Python, Node, sometimes Java, Kotlin, everything. So language agnostic होना चाहिए, but in terms of आपकी कंपनी को आपसे क्या चाहिए वो पहले जान लो, and then you decide your roadmap कि आपको क्या चाहिए. It will help you कि आपको आगे क्या करना है. And I think my in previous meetup I told in these sessions कि AI will take your jobs, ठीक है, but you have to upskill yourself. तो आप मार्केट में रह सकते हो, ठीक है. इफ़ यू थिंक कि यार नहीं मैं एंड्रॉयड ही करूँगा, मैं यही मेरा टेक स्टैक है, मैं कॉटलिन ही करूँगा, देन समवन एल्स विल डू योर जॉब, ठीक है. सो ट्राई टू अपस्किल योरसेल्फ. दैट्स
My second question to you. So,
What are the difficulties of creating a startup?
देर आर लॉट ऑफ मेजर थिंग इज़ कि टीम बिल्डिंग, ठीक है. You need right team beside you who will help you in this journey. Money is the second thing. We have our roadmap, ठीक है, हमारा runway है, but still money is an issue. So there are VCs, ठीक है. आप interviews देते हो, right? आपको लगता है interviews are difficult, but frankly speaking, ये भाई VC से बात करना और पैसे निकालना is toughest job. So I think इस AI के टाइम पे मुझे नहीं लगता है कि टेक बिल्ड करना इज़ अ चैलेंज, ठीक है. टेक बिल्ड करना इज़ नॉट अ चैलेंज. एक रात में बैठो, दूसरे दिन कोड, और हमें आदत है स्टार्टअप्स वालों को एक रात में कोड लिख के पी के भी लोग कोड करते हैं भाई. तो मार्केट में टेक इज़ नॉट अ चैलेंज राइट नाउ. द गुड टीम इज़ अ चैलेंज, ठीक है, और पैसा. दोज आर द थिंग्स.
Anyone else?
Hi, Nick. My question related. Hello. Am I audible? Hello, Nick. My question related to the update to the APK. How you are working in Book My Show. So Book My Show is using by lakhs and crores of users. So how you are?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Correct. Sorry. Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
The question is like, because you have like so many users, how, like what is your updating process? Like how do you update your apps, and like what is the process of updating the apps?
I think I'm not sure if there is a golden rule for this, or I'm not sure if we are doing anything different than what maybe Swiggy Zomato does. So there is a concept called release train, which basically means that every company decides on a release policy. Could be every 15 days, could be every 20 days, could be once every month. And you do have a roadmap of what to deliver in what quarter. And you keep releasing on those dates. So maybe every 15th and 30th, maybe every whatever is your policy. We at Book My Show do it twice a month. And we do have certain things like optional and force update like this guy was talking about. So that is also there, but there is nothing. We are dependent on the Play Store definitely. So there's optional updates, sports updates, depending on how old your app is. But it's just normal Play Store thing, and Play Store really does a good job at handling these distributions. So. And we do phase rollout definitely. We don't roll out to 100% because we have a lot of people and we can afford to break things together. Yeah.
Yeah, my question to you, Liavik, is basically I want to know about what was your phase, like how did you started with server-driven UI in BMS, and what were the initial hurdles, like not the ones which came after adoption, but ones which came before adoption, and not just technical hurdles, but also like convincing the senior teams. Just
Okay, good. I think it's a very big question, so I'll just maybe nail it down a little bit. So just one thing I just want to clarify before beginning is that when I joined Book My Show, there was already a concept of server-driven UI, so I didn't have to do that manual job of convincing people. However, I think, it depends on the company, definitely the vision, because you have to, at some time you have to convince people because it takes a lot of time to build it. People do not see the output as they should. It's a long-term process that gets evolved over time. And initially we had very few things that were backend driven. Only we had the homepage that was backend driven when I joined, supporting a very small subset of features that could be changed. For example, the number of items that you see, the text that you see, the images that you see, and stuff like that. Right now, maybe about 50 to 60% of our app is backend driven. Some of the screens are heavily backend driven, where you can change the entire page without taking a single release from the front end. In order to reach there, I do not think we had to convince people as such because we already sold the idea of what they were going to get out of it, and our app fortunately falls into the domain where you would massively gain out of showing different UIs to different people. Because maybe for you, maybe you are a moviegoer, right? And you would like to see movies which maybe you like to watch, maybe Hollywood movies. So if I show you maybe concerts, it wouldn't make much sense to you, right? So I can also change the UI based on you, personalize it based on you. So there were a lot of business use cases that went with this, so we did not have a very hard job at convincing from this point, but we did have a hard job at convincing the timelines because to build something in Android with Compose, recently that it's quite easy to build things, right? Maybe a page you are building, maybe you'll give a timeline of a week. For us, it's not that simple because it's not a page for us, so we have to think through all the situations, how the design system would render into a backend code, how would the backend design system work out, how would we render that code, does it have any fundamental component that do not exist in the entire system. So we have to end up putting that fundamental component inside our components library so that it can uniformly reflect at all pages. So it's more of a, I would say, a framework, a mindset that the entire company has adopted to. However, there are challenges with timelines that we face from day to day, but we work at some of things to make it faster, but yeah, there is some point of convincing, but it's a business use case for us, so it's not that difficult for us to convince at the moment. However, I do congratulate the people who got the entire organization onboarded to the idea of doing this.
I can add one point to it.
And by the way, he was there when it started, so he would have...
So at the end, when he congratulated people, I think he congratulated me too. So basically, when you must be knowing COVID में पूरा Book My Show का तो पूरा business shut था because movies were off and concerts were off, right? So Book My Show's business team thought of integrating streaming.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the business opportunity कि movies का crowd है हमारे पास, तो we can stream movies and maybe अगर कोई खरीदता है तो whatever money we get. So वहाँ पे we got a timeline of 2 months कि आपको पूरा एक Hotstar या ऐसा कुछ आपको build करना है. People will be able to buy movies and stream them inside the app. However, it took 6 months, but that was the timeline given to us कि 2 months में आपको करना है. And तभी we thought of कि ये इतना अगर random feature है तो हमको कुछ तो server driven चाहिएगा, like in future these things can come. तो वहाँ पे हमने सोचा, as he said, हमारे पास सिर्फ home screen था जो server driven था. बाकी कोई भी टीम इस पर ऑनबोर्डेड नहीं थी, उनको पता भी नहीं था कैसे करते हैं। सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम जब भी हम ये वाला नया स्क्रीन एंड फीचर बना रहे थे, तो आई जस्ट पिच्ड कि ऐसा कुछ करते हैं। बट हमारे जो टीम के टीएल थे वो टाइम पे, उनको नहीं पता था, दे टोटली कॉल्ड इट ऑफ कि ये नहीं कर पाएंगे, हमारे डेवलपर्स को नहीं पता है, एंड ये 2 मंथ्स का टाइमलाइन है, श्योरली ये मिस होगा फिर। तो वो टाइम पे आई टुक द हिट, आई टोल्ड कि अगर आपका टाइमलाइन मिस होता है तो ब्लेम इट ऑन मी। एंड उसके लिए बट मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस कैसे मिला, लाइक ऑन अ सैटरडे और संडे आई सेट अप अ कॉल। जो भी लोग उस प्रोजेक्ट में काम करने वाले थे, ओनली द इंजीनियर्स, मैंने उनको बुलाया, उनको ये आइडिया सेल किया कि हम नॉर्मल यूआई तो एवरी टाइम बनाते हैं, वो बोरिंग होगा, कुछ सर्वर ड्रिवन बनाते हैं, आपके प्रोफाइल्स के लिए भी अच्छा रहेगा, आप भी नया सीखोगे, हम भी नया, इट विल बी चैलेंजिंग थिंग। तो उन लोगों ने सबने बोला वी आर ऑल ऑन बोर्डेड, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम डालना पड़ेगा, एनी वे कोविड है, सैटरडे संडे कहीं पे जाते नहीं है। तो बेसिकली अगर 1 महीने का भी हमको 2 महीने का भी टाइमलाइन मिलता है, तो इंक्लूडिंग सैटरडे संडेज इट विल बी लाइक 3 months फॉर अस। तो ऑल ऑफ देम गॉट ऑन बोर्डेड, उससे कॉन्फिडेंस आया, एंड देन वी कन्विंस द टीएल कि ये करते हैं। एंड आई थिंक कोविड में हमने जो सिनॉप्सिस पेज रिलीज़ किया, तो उसके बाद से आज तक हमने वापस सिनॉप्सिस पेज रिलीज़ नहीं किया है, एंड सारे फीचर्स ऑटोमेटिकली बैकएंड से वहाँ पे पावर हो जाते हैं। सो yeah, it was actually very basically a ground breaking thing for us कि वहाँ पे जब एक टीम ऑनबोर्ड हो गया, फिर उसके बाद में सब टीम को वहाँ पे प्रॉफिट दिखने लगा, फिर एक के बाद एक सब टीम वापस आ गई। तो हाँ, इनिशियली लाइक लगता है किसी ना किसी को हैव टू टेक दैट हिट कि नहीं ये वर्क करेगा, आई एम गिविंग गारंटी। वो सब लोग नहीं ऑनबोर्डेड होंगे इनिशियली। दैट्स इट।
Sorry, थोड़ा
what was your approach when you were building your in-house, let's say, app logging and whatever you build, analytics and everything? What was your approach to that? Like, why did you build it, and what was your approach on building it?
So basically, we were growing too fast than any other company. ठीक है, and हम लोग जो भी नया टूल इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं, इट टेक्स अस टाइम टू इंटीग्रेट एंड सी। एंड क्या होता था कि हमने क्लेवर डब भी ट्राई करा था, हमने एप्सफ्लायर ट्राई करा है, बट हमारे यूज़र का जो इवेंट्स है, ऐप इवेंट्स हम लोग जो भी यूज़ कर रहे हैं, वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि हमारे एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन काफ़ी फास्ट होती थी। हमारे 5 प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स अलग अलग फीचर्स बिल्ड कर रहे हैं और अलग अलग ऐप इवेंट्स डाल रहे हैं। एक फीचर के लिए 25 से 30 ऐप इवेंट्स डाल रहे हैं, और वो क्लोज नहीं हो रहा है, एक्सपेरिमेंट क्लोज नहीं हो रहा है, कंक्लूड हो रहा है बट वो क्लोज नहीं हो रहा है। वो हमें कभी शिफ्ट नहीं दे रहे कि भाई ये निकाल दो ऐप से, ठीक है, वी हैव कंक्लूडेड दिस। तो वो हमेशा पाइलअप रहता था हमारे लिए, वो टेप डेट रहता था हमेशा कि यार वो हम 6 महीने के बाद या फिर कोड फ्रीज में हम लोग वो आइडेंटिफाई करते थे कि यार ये अभी चीज़ें नहीं चल रही, इनको रिमूव करनी है, ठीक है। एंड व्हेन आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट की ऐप साइजेस, तो ये सब चीज़ें उसमें आ जाती थी। तो हम लोग कोई टूल यूज़ नहीं कर पा रहे थे, क्योंकि हम लोग इजीली वो उनका जो लिमिट है, या फिर हम या तो उनका लिमिट क्रॉस हो जाता है, या तो हमारा बिल बन के ज़्यादा आ जाता। एंड एज अ स्टार्टअप हमारे लिए वो ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग हो जाता था कि यार कोई नया टूल ऑनबोर्ड करो और उसका इतना बिल बन के आ रहा है। तो देन व्हाट वी थॉट कि यार हमारा काफ़ी बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट है कि हमें बस एक फ्लो अंडरस्टैंड करना है फॉर टू ग्रो, कि एक यूज़र अपने एक सेशन में कौन सी नेविगेट कर रहा है स्क्रीन, ठीक है। उसके लिए क्या करना है, हमें बस लॉग डालना है। वो लॉग कहाँ पे डालना है, हम लोग एक अपने डीबी में डालते हैं और उसको ग्राफ से रीड कर लेंगे। सो दैट्स इट। तो हमने एक अलग से माइक्रो सर्विस बना ली थी, हमने अपने SDK बना लिए थे, एंड वी वर थ्रोइंग आवर ऐप इवेंट्स टू दैट माइक्रो सर्विस। हमारी खुद की सर्वर पे नहीं जा रहा था, हमारे अलग एक सर्वर पे हम लोग थ्रो कर रहे थे, जो फिर कीबाना पे लॉग करता था, ठीक है। फॉर अस इट वाज ऑन अ कीबाना फॉर लॉग्स, जो प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स के लॉग्स होते थे, ऐप इवेंट्स, वो आई थिंक किसी DB में स्टोर होते थे। देन ऑन अ रीडैश वी पुल दैट विद आई थिंक बिग क्वेरी से, एंड वहाँ पे वो ग्राफ जनरेट करके वो पूरा फ्लो देख लेते थे। उससे उनको रेवेन्यू वगैरह वो सब चीज़ें मैट्रिक्स कैलकुलेट करने मिल जाती थी। तो दैट वाज आवर अप्रोच, बट आई थिंक वो बिजनेस टू बिजनेस डिपेंड करता है कि आप कैसे स्केल पे हो और आपको किस तरीके से एग्जीक्यूट करना है. अगर आपके पास पैसा है, खर्चा कर सकते हो, तो आई फील कि वो ज़्यादा कन्वीनियंट है कि आप कोई टूल यूज़ कर लो, ठीक है. बट एज अ स्टार्टअप अगर नहीं है और आपके पास बैंडविड्थ है, लोग हैं, यू शुड बिल्ड इन हाउस.